arcade gamers, and welcome back to Biggie D's Arcade. Tonight we're doing Sunday chill and chat on a Sunday evening with the home arcade community, talking home arcades. Hope everyone's having a great night. Let's say hi to everyone who's made it into the chat so far. Looks like we have the Be Me saying, hey Biggie, how's it going? Good to see you. Let's see, we got Mikey Yoon saying, let's go Biggie D, let's go. Papa Brad's Gaming, he's saying, hey, channel member here, paying channel member, absolutely. Really appreciate the support, Papa Brad. You can see there the emojis. These are what you'll get if you're just paying 99 cents per month. Help support the channel ultimately, but you get these extra perks. Mikey Yoon says, I hope Biggie D promotes the Retro Legends Arcade Tournament. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way now because Papa Brad did send me the list of games for this week, and I've actually already put in one of my scores for Attack from Mars. So you can do Attack from Mars, Whitewater, which is a new table that'll be coming out on AtGames this week, Batsugan, and Chopper Command. So those are your 4 games this week. Go check them out. I'm doing the Attack from Mars because I've got that on Pinball FX VR, as well as I've got the Steam pack, which gives me Attack from Mars, as well as I can play it on my arcade one-up pinball. So I've got plenty of ways to play it, but that's what I'll be doing is participating in Attack from Mars. Noza Palooza says, I'm interested in the joystick. That's awesome. So you're probably referring to the X Arcade to TV VR joystick, which it's like a control panel that you can roll up in front of a TV or just put on your VR headset, and it gives you these awesome controls. And we've got a lot to talk about in regards to X Arcade tonight. So glad you made it, Noza, and we'll be getting into that first thing. So stay tuned. Brooklyn Menace is here. Cheers. Good to see you, buddy. Glad you made it in the chat. MSU Rich is here. He's saying, good evening, gamers. Good to see you, MSU Rich. Mike Hawkhurts with the check mark. Good to see you, Mike. Glad you made it tonight. Let's see. Mikey is saying, super chats, let's go. Yes, let's get some super chats tonight if we can. I'm not doing a goal or anything like that. I don't have like a idea in mind, but anything helps. Anything helps support the channel. Papa Brad's Gaming says, real prizes for players only. So we're going to talk a tournament tonight. We actually have the poll up right now, and I want everyone to vote because I want to do this next tournament we did last month, Camp Bloodbrook, which was a Pinball M table. And I didn't prevent anyone from joining. So there were a bunch of people joined that were just, you know, on Zen Studios Pinball FX that wanted, or Pinball M that wanted to play. And they joined. So what I'm going to do this month is I'm going to make it a closed tournament where you basically have to have like a password, and I'll provide that to everyone. And then that way we know everyone who's in the tournament is a viewer of the channel and they're a friend of the channel. That way we can kind of rank ourselves amongst each other without all the big dogs, you know, with the really high scores coming into the tournament. We'll do that this month, kind of change it up a little bit, make it a private tournament just for the viewers, password protected, so only you guys can join and play. And there's 4 options. So Godzilla is one, and the one I put at the top of the list was Godzilla because that's the one I've been playing a lot this week. It's also on sale this week for $5.99. So if you're wanting to get it on Steam, that's where I purchased it. It's a deal right now. Jaws is the other one, which is a really great table as well. I've had this one on PS5. I have it on Switch. I've now got it on Steam. It's also available on the AtGames 4KP. Amazing universal table, Jaws. So that one, not yet on VR, hopefully soon. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. This is one that I picked up very inexpensively a while back on Pinball FX. Enjoy that one a lot. And then Vern's Mysterious Island. This is part of the Honor and Legacy pack. And this one is also a inexpensive table. It's one of their in-house produced Zen Studios tables. A lot of y'all probably already have that Honor and Legacy pack. It was on special last week. I bought it for $2.99 last week. So what I'm noticing is Zen is always doing sales every week. Different tables are on discount, and a lot of the ones you're seeing here were at some point on a discount or very recently were, or Godzilla, for instance, is on sale this week. So you guys vote on which one you want to see, and we'll make that happen. And we'll do a 7-day tournament. So we'll get into that some more here towards the end. Calvin Wong with a grin. Good to see you, Calvin. Glad you made it. Steve Sell is here. He's saying, hi, Biggie. Good to see you, Steve. Glad to see you in the chat. Video Game Vegas is here saying, evening all. Great to see Video Game Vegas. Always has some really good opinions on home arcade stuff. So good to see him in the chat. And hopefully I can see him on Papa Brad's Gaming Retro Arcade, because that Friday night stream, I know Video Game Vegas was a guest at one point. Hopefully he can get him back on the stream again. Like to hear what he has to say. So let's start, guys, with, I want to start with the X Arcade. So I told you guys recently, I guess this was a couple weeks ago, because last week was Labor Day, so I took the week off. So I've actually taken like a full 2 weeks off since last time we met. I haven't done any content really at all. Just kind of took a break, which I like to do sometimes, kind of re-energize. But something that happened between last stream and this stream is I did get a review unit of the X Arcade. So I already had the VR headset, the MetaQuest 3S VR headset. So I already had that piece of it. I was just missing the control panel. So that did come in this week, and I've been playing it nonstop. I've been, like, last Saturday, before my father came in town for Labor Day, I spent all day, I'm telling you, more than 8 hours playing pinball on this new X Arcade. That's how much fun it is. And then my dad was in town Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then he left on Wednesday. And then I've been playing it whenever I get a moment in between work. And then I played it a lot yesterday. So I've been playing it a ton. And I'm going to go through all that with you guys tonight on, what I've got set up and everything. But basically, we had discussed this X-Force Haptics kit last time. And it was going to be for pre-order, but it wasn't yet available for pre-order. Well, that pre-order actually hit. So we've got a price, we've got promotions, we've got information, all that for everyone now. So this was a promotional email they actually sent out last night, basically advertising the new full body pinball experience is what they're advertising this as. So it's next level pinball immersion with an X-Force Haptics kit. So this is a kit that you essentially will install into your X Arcade control panel. It's got haptics, so it'll basically shake whenever you feel something in the game, or you're supposed to feel something in a pinball game. You actually feel it in the control panel. It has the ability to nudge where you touch the machine or you touch the control panel and move it and bump it, just like a real pinball machine. It's going to nudge the pinball game you're playing, whether that be, on a computer like I've been playing a lot lately, or VR. You're in the FX VR pinball, same thing. It's all integrated. It's all going to work. It's all going to be seamless. So amazing, right? And then they've got the actual mechanical like plunger, which is like a real plunger you're going to install in this, which is going to take a little bit of work. Evidently, you're going to need like screws. You're going to need basically be able to screw holes into this control panel to make room for it and to position it and make it all work. So just know that, you will have to have a drill, and you may have to screw a hole or two for that plunger. And then right on top, so I'm going to show a video here next of my X Arcade and where it's set up in my apartment. I have it set up right at the front there of the stairs, right by the front door. And this is my setup. And most of what I've been playing is I've been playing FX or Pinball M on my gaming computer. So if you guys remember, not too long ago, my gaming computer crapped out or was having issues where it was like audio wasn't good. We had Bill's retro show on and my audio was terrible. I ordered a new gaming PC when that happened to stream with like we're doing tonight. I took that old gaming PC, which had nothing wrong with it except for some audio issues for the mic, and I plugged that in. I've been playing games on it. Well, now it's dedicated to this X Arcade for FX and Pinball M pinball, virtual pinball. So I've got a dedicated gaming PC now for this. And it takes a somewhat high-end gaming PC to push Pinball FX and the new Pinball M tables. Well, this does it no issues. Now I followed basically what Kevgret, if you guys know who Kevgret is in the community, he might pop up in the chat tonight. I have to give him full credit on this was his idea, and I just followed step by step what he was already putting on his YouTube. And it works great. I've got the vertical screen, 27-inch LG vertical screen right above it. I only paid $80 for that at Target. So, you know, get your notepad out, see how inexpensive this was for me, because that's basically what you guys can pay. So I paid $80 for a LG 27-inch IPS monitor, 100 hertz, which is more than what I need for this game. I only need 60, but it's 100. I only paid $80 for that at Target. Then I got a little 15.6-inch portable monitor. I only paid $40 for that at Walmart.com. Hook all this up into my PC. Now I've got a 27-inch vertical monitor for my playfield. I've got a 15.6-inch little tablet portable monitor right under it for my DMD screen. So now I can see the DMD. It's not taking up space on the playfield. Now the controls, you've got the pinball buttons on the left and right-hand side. These work perfect. It's basically a keyboard input. So you can basically map it any way you want, but right out of the box, it works. The pinball buttons work perfectly, and they're instant. No lag, nothing, right? It's exact to the millisecond, it feels like. So you feel like you're really playing pinball. So this is all great. I've really been enjoying it. One thing I've done is I've also bought another 15.6, actually, no, I'm sorry. It's an 11-inch screen, portable screen, and I bought a mount for it. It's going to go above the playfield screen, and that is going to basically be my back box screen. So I'm going to still be able to see a back box image as well above the playfield screen, and that's on its way. I only paid $40 for the 11-inch screen that'll go above it, and I'll have 3 screens running on this PC, and it'll look and play great. Now, I've also played VR pinball as well, and that's what everyone's been talking about. That's what everyone thinks is the best way to play. Personally, after having this setup that I'm showing and playing in VR, I actually prefer this setup more. The reason is I have like a speaker system set up to it right now, like an old one I wasn't using anymore, had a subwoofer and all that. It sounds great. The only thing I'm really missing are the haptics, like the feedback in the control panel, which is what the pinball kit's going to give me. The plunger, yes, I'll take it, but it's not something I have to have. The ability to nudge the machine, I think, and it actually nudged in the game is important to me. The feedback in the control panel, I'm definitely missing. I would like to have some rumble, some feedback in the machine in the control panel. That's coming. So once this pinball kit comes, everything's going to be complete. But bottom thing I want to say, like kind of in this experience I've had for the first week with this, is I actually prefer playing on a flat screen more than I do VR. And I didn't think that was going to be the case. I didn't think that I was going to enjoy it more on the flat screen than I did VR. I don't know what it is. The VR is fun and all, but I'm limited to the amount of time I can wear that headset. You know, I only like to wear it comfortably for half hour, an hour at the most, and then I want to take it off and take a break. With the flat screen, the experience never ends. I can play for hours on end and really score chase and be in tournaments and all those things. So surprisingly, I enjoyed the flat screen more. I didn't think that was going to be the case. But I am missing this pinball kit, so I cannot wait for this to come. I've already pre-ordered it. It's going to ship in November. Cannot wait to put in these parts. I don't think it's going to be too difficult. They'll obviously have instructions. They'll make it really easy for us. If we have any issues, there'll be support. And one thing I've noticed about X Arcade already is their support is perfect. It's like they get back to you almost instantly. They're very nice. They're asking questions. They want to hear, you know, your experience, all these things. So it's great to get that level of customer service. Now, the speakers are going to be really cool. I think this whole aspect of it as well, having like an actual amp where we can adjust the volume and make adjustments to the sound and have some like high level speakers in it, I think are going to be really big for it as well. If you notice in this video up on the top, in between those two holes, which are where your controllers for the MetaQuest go, there's this huge open space. And I've been like putting my keyboard and my mouse on it, but it's just a huge open space. Well, this speaker system, which we're looking at here, that's going to install into the top, will fit just perfectly. It'll fit just perfect. So I cannot wait to install this and hear what that sound's going to be like also. Also, another thing on that sound, I hope this is available to me when I play it on flat screen as well. You know, when I'm in FX or I'm in Pinball M, I hope I'm able to use these speakers as well. I hope it's not limited to just FX VR. I don't think it will be, but I hope not. So these are your prices. You're looking at $399 for the X-Arcade Arcade to TV XR full bundle. There was a promotion going on. That summer sale ended recently, so I think there's still a 10% out there. If you guys want to save 10%, it's definitely worth it. I wouldn't wait any longer, especially now that the pinball kit is out. I wouldn't wait, because these things could sell out. If you just want the controller only, that may be an option for you. Like if you have a good sized table or something you already have in mind that you want to set it on, I think you could make that work without buying the stand and be just fine. But it is only $100 for that stand, and it's incredible. It's really heavy. You know, when it came in two boxes. The first box is the control panel, the second box is the stand, and the stand's actually very heavy. It's well built. Takes a while to put together, but once you get it put together, I mean, it's a solid piece of metal, and it's got these cool lights built into it and everything. So definitely recommend getting that stand at only $100 more. And I like the adjustments. I'm a really tall person, and I don't even use the tallest setting. So at 6'4", I'm still not even using the tallest setting. So it's got a lot of options, adjustments you can make with that size. But here's that Pinball Haptics kit. Pre-order now, $150. There's that 10% off. Use the promo codes out there. Also use the affiliate link that's in the description of this live stream, because that'll just help me get credit and help support the channel at the same time when you get this stuff. And even though they sent the control panel out to me for review, and they may have possibly sent me this as well for review, I went ahead and bought it because I didn't want to take any chances. I was like, I want to get this as soon as it comes out in November, and I don't want it to, you know, delay anything or any. So I went ahead and pre-ordered it and just paid for it, even though I have the review unit. That's how much I'm enjoying this and how much I want to get this set up. So Social 10 got you 10% off. And then there's some shipping involved, but it's minimal. It's like $20. So go get this. It's available now. It's going to ship in November. They saying November, December. So it could come as late as December, but it will be here by the end of the year. So I think that's really cool. They're going to make it by Christmas time. Everyone's going to have their full pinball experience by Christmas. And you can just order it right off the website. So go check that out, guys. Really cool experience I've been having with this thing so far. Just can't believe I waited so long to reach out to X-Arcade. I was basically ready to buy it. If you guys remember last stream, I was going to buy it anyways. I was just waiting to pay rent, and they just so happened to reach back out to me and were like, hey, we're going to send it to you. So I didn't have to, but I was ready to buy it. So that's how sold I was on this. And it was a good decision too. It wasn't like I had buyer's remorse or felt like it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It's more than what I was expecting. Brooklyn Minute says, got past that crazy jumping part in the Messenger doing some streaming. Thumper Squid is here saying, hello, Video Game Vegas. How's Mr. Pickle? Good to see you, Thumper Squid. Mikey's saying a free X Arcade. So it's not really free because I will have to do a review and some follow-up content, and that takes time, you know, and you have to plan out time out of your day. And if you work a day job, you know, you got to work around that too. So I wouldn't say it's free, but it's definitely a nice perk to getting a review unit is you don't have to pay extra for it. Brooklyn Menace is saying it looks great. I appreciate it. Yep, great setup. All thanks to KevGret, though, that I have this setup. Oh, there he is. KevGret saying that's my setup. Yes, it is a awesome way to play pinball. I love it. I inspire the entire company. I definitely think that KevGret is one of their biggest influencers. And what's surprising, he's not actually making anything. He's just doing it for free. Sir Sega's here saying that thing takes up more room than my Nova Blast. It is huge, right? I'm glad you pointed that out because you see it next to the II Arcade, right? Which is a pretty big 3/4 scale arcade, and it's got a 19-inch screen. But you can see just how much wider, how much bigger, more depth there is to this control panel. You have plenty of room for your wrists, your hands. If you want to play trackball games, like if you want to play Golden Tee, I was thinking about getting the new arcade classics, Golden Tee. This will be an ideal way to play it because the trackball is really good on the iArcade, but it's so much bigger and works even better on this X Arcade. Now, another thing to take note is that X Arcade uses Glenn's GRS products. So the buttons, the sticks, the trackball, all that stuff is his. So it's very reminiscent of what I already have when I play my iArcade with his ultimate control panel. But just love the more space and the bigger control panel. Mikey's saying nice to give KevGret some credit. Mike Hawkert says, I've been using the vertical screen for a few years with the Buy Stuff TNT stand. Was using the Gamer Pro on a pedestal. I thought about that because I have the Gamer Pro as well. But I'm glad I didn't waste any time or money into making that setup because this is perfect. This is exactly what I was missing. Wingo's here saying, hey, y'all, good to see you, Wingo. Wheeze34 says, Big DX Arcade still on sale at Micro Center for $298.99. I did catch that. So I was watching Retro Legends Arcade on Friday, and towards the end of their stream, they had said, oh my goodness, Micro Center has this for $299. And I think they have really cheap shipping too. It's like almost nothing for the shipping. So that's your best deal right there if it's still available. And I remember Micro Center pretty well because I used to go there when I lived in the Dallas area. But yeah, Micro Center is a reputable retailer. If it's still available at that price, go there. You're still going to get your warranty and all that. Irish Michael C says, yo, Biggie D, good to see you, Irish. He says, shout out to Toxic Yoon. Love how you, oh no, okay. Not going to get into that today, but all right. So that is the X Arcade, arcade to TV for VR pinball. Go check it out. Amazing experience, whether you get the pinball kit or not. If you're just wanting to play arcade games, you know, it's got the full control panel for that. It's got the trackball. Or if you're wanting to, you know, really fill out the experience, get the pinball kit, and you'll be able to get all these extras installed and have a really good time with it. Just have a fantastic time playing pinball, whether that be on flat screen or whether that be in VR. You've got it with the X Arcade. So what that brings up next for me, guys, is going to be this Star Wars Home Plus at Costco. This is something I've a little bit followed because at first I was most interested in the AtGames 4KP. That was really kind of going to be my first like premium purchase, I felt like. But when this came around, this Costco Star Wars Home Plus pen, I was like, you know what? This thing is going to end up dropping in price. I just know it. It started out at like $5,000. But I mean, as soon as it hit stores, you were already seeing it at like $4,200. And I was like, man, if this thing ever drops to like $3,000 or less, I'm going to get this. Why would I go out and get the AtGames 4KP at almost $2,000 when I can get a real pinball table with Stern Insider connected, all the bells and whistles of like the pros and the premiums just at a lower cost. That's, you know, what my thinking on this. Of course, it is missing some stuff that the Premium and Pro don't have, obviously. But it's got most of what you're going to want, and most of what you experience in those machines you're going to get in these home editions, especially with this Plus. Because the Jurassic Park, if you guys remember, the Jurassic Park had this real small 7-inch DMD screen. It was just so tiny you couldn't even see what was going on with the DMD. Well, they did improve that with this one. It does have a 10-inch, which is more reasonable. It's more usable. I think friendlier on the eyes. You can actually see what's going on in the DMD now. So this is a perfect package, I think, at a low cost. So really looking forward to seeing this thing and, you know, seeing the price drop ultimately, because that's what's going to get me interested in buying one. Steps Gaming just says, here is for the super chat goal for a longer stream. I don't have a super chat goal going on tonight. I told everyone, if you guys want a super chat, definitely help support the channel. Definitely makes everything a lot easier because there are costs involved with running this stuff. So I really appreciate Steps, the $2. Go check out Steps Gaming. She had an amazing video that dropped this weekend where she did a drive 2 hours away up by Chicago to a video game store. And I really was impressed with her video, and I thought it was well done, and I really enjoyed it. So if you're just wanting some quick entertainment, go check out Steps Turbo. She's got a really good video that dropped this weekend. I think you guys will like it if you like video game stores and walk-in talks, all that stuff. So I really appreciate the $2 Steps. That's awesome of you. Thank you for helping out and supporting with that super chat. And maybe I should start a goal. Maybe next stream I'll do a goal here. All right, so going back here to the Star Wars Stern Home Plus. If we take a look at this, $4,999 is the MSRP, authentic Star Wars sounds, music, and video, 10-inch LCD display screen. That's that DMD I was just talking about. Hand-drawn classic movie artwork on the play field, on the side panels, on the back box. Looks awesome, right? This is all your original Star Wars stuff too. None of that, you know, episode 1 through 3 or the modern Star Wars by Disney. This is 4, 5, and 6, A New Hope, all the good stuff on this one. Fast play ramps, spinners, and drop targets, commercial construction, solid wood. Looks really good. This came in at, I saw a price this week, and I posted it on a community post. The price went down to $3,800 this week, I saw. So the price, even though it is $4,999, I've seen it as low as $3,800. And that price is going to continue to drop, guys. Before it completely sells out, I guarantee you're going to see these for less than $3,000. And as soon as I hear that, I'm running up there and I'm getting one of these, and I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring out how I'm going to pay for it, where I'm going to put it, all that later on. I'll just keep it in the box if I have to till I figure that out, but I'm going to get one. And something else about this. So follow Retro Ralph, and he had posted this on his Facebook, but he found out this is actually using the new hardware. There's these new like boards that they're putting in these now. And they allow HDMI out. So you can actually, instead of putting a screen like on the DMD and trying to catch your video that way, you can easily just capture it to a capture card with the HDMI out. So it's using this new Spike 3 board. So it's got newer technology in it also, which helps with the expandability of this and also just future-proofing the whole setup. So that's really good news to see that the price is dropping and it has the new stuff in it as well. But that also brings up this as well, as I wanted to share this with you guys. So Stern is actually teasing their next pinball table, and there was some rumors out there that it may be Spaceballs, but it is actually going to be a Star Wars, and it looks like it's going to be a Star Wars developed, like their own story that they do just for this pinball table. It's not going to be on one of the movies. It looks like it's going to be kind of like King Kong was recently, where they do their own story, their own artwork, and all that. So looking forward to what Star Wars is going to do, or Stern and Star Wars will do with this new pinball table, Fall of the Empire. It is teasing September, so we're in the month of September now. So sometime within the next few weeks, they're going to announce this. They're going to fully reveal it. And then I went to Pinball Expo in Chicago last year. I'm not going to make it this year. I wish I could, but I'm sure they're going to be showing it off there. So for anyone who's making it to the event this year, looking forward to all the content, the videos, everything that's going to be coming out. In regards to this new Star Wars by Stern, which is going to be like their Premium Pro limited edition versions of this Home Plus that we're seeing in Costco right now. So go check that out. I may get one of these. Like I said, it just depends on how far this price ends up dropping. But if I can get it under $3,000, I just don't see any way that I could not get one of these. So Mike says here, this was the year New Wave Toys lost me. And I'm glad you brought that up because I had some notes written down, and one of the notes was on New Wave Toys, and might as well just stop right now and talk about that and address that subject because I'm a little bit concerned as well. He's saying over a year since having more than $1,000 in pre-orders, and they don't even deliver any monthly updates as promised. I know they've been doing the streams every once in a while, giving away some free stuff, but you're right. I mean, there's just what is going on with them and their new products, because if you go down and you scroll down to their website, you know, the pre-orders are out there on tons of stuff, and a lot of the stuff was already supposed to be delivered. Like this Golden Tee, I can't believe we're still talking about it. And then the Crystal Castles was right after that. And we haven't heard anything from Glenn. I know Glenn's control panel is part of this. So it doesn't sound good. It's not looking good. I was hopeful that some things were going to come out by the end of the year. It's not looking like it. So I'm right there with Mike. I'm a little bit concerned with, you know, what's going on with New Wave Toys. Where are they at? Where are these products at? You know, very concerned at this point, you know, past the point of just being patient, now concerned for the company and where are they heading? Like, are these pre-orders going to get delivered? Obviously, they have to deliver these. People have already put their money down, or they would have to refund people if they're going out of business. I have no clue. Hate to even put that out there, but all speculation. I don't know what's going on with them. So unfortunate. Do not like to hear that and see this from New Wave Toys because I'm a big supporter of theirs. Calvin Wong says, by Christmas 2009.99. I hope so. You know, this is something I think they're going to want to get out of Costco by the end of the year. So you're going to need to be ready around that Christmas break. You know, like when school starts getting let out for Christmas, that week, I think is the week you need to be in Costco every day, checking these out. You know, are they available? Can you get your hands on one? Because I think that'll be like their final markdown before they're all sold. But looking forward to following this. Kev Grit talking about the New Wave Toys subject we were just discussing. Just saying they are too busy selling carpet and Donnie dolls. Now, one thing it was, I did a giveaway on my 100th episode recently. And I gave away the carpet, I gave away the slurp cup, and I gave away a change machine or a cigarette machine. Brooklyn Menace, I'm sorry, who's in the chat, won that cigarette machine, and he received his quickly. Like as soon as I ordered it, it shipped out within like that next day, and he had it on the other side of the country. So from California to New York, that area, within just a few days. So they're definitely running. They're sending stuff out. They're taking orders. They're doing it efficiently, and they're getting stuff out quickly. So I don't know what to think. I don't know. Are they going out of business? It doesn't seem like it. But then also these new products that they've taken money on for pre-orders are not coming out. So I don't know what to think. I really do not have any clue on what's going on behind the scenes with New Wave Toys. Hopefully we get a word here soon, and I'm glad you brought that up. All right, so just to get on a new subject here, I wanted to talk about next the Iconic Arcade, because there was quite a bit of news that came out this last week since I saw y'all last on Iconic Arcade. And I wanted to just kind of give my opinion and also update you guys on the news and everything that's going on with this. So just kind of taking a look at some of these slides I created. This was posted on the, there's a Facebook group called Iconic Arcade Media One Up Facebook group. This was posted there. Also, you can get a lot of up-to-date information from the Reddit page. They seem to be communicating through Reddit also. So a couple of ways you can get your news for them. But they did this poll, right, where they sent this email out basically asking everyone who pre-ordered, what do you want? 1, 2, 3, all the way through 6 different versions of artwork. And even though number 1 was the original and it did very well, number 3 is the one that won. I guess people didn't like that Street Fighter 2 logo going straight up and down. They wanted it to go more horizontal, just across the side artwork there, rather than up and down. So I think it looks good. They also repositioned that picture to kind of move it away from the screen, kind of at the angle of the screen. I think it looks pretty good that way. Also going with that concrete look, that retro vibe, of course, for this arcade is great. It looks good. I think it stays true to like its original artwork while still kind of moving outside the box, doing some different things, and offering something new. So I think it looks pretty good. Now, the Rexer Show just came in with a $4.99 super chat. So $4.99. He says, thank you for not being one of these pathetic YouTubers doing super chat goals. They show your true colors, i.e. 19 cents. So yes, I appreciate you, Rexer, and I'm glad you took note to the fact that I did not do a super chat goal. Ever since YouTube started like pushing these super chat goals and all these different ways to incentivize people to super chat, I was like, I'm not taking part in that stuff. You know, it's just, it seems like you're begging almost. It's like almost like an e-bag. And if YouTube needs the money that bad, that's not good, because they've been really pushing me to do goals, and I have not. I even got a little button now right next to where Rexer Show just super chatted asking me if I want to create a goal, and I do not. So I'll just let you guys do it as you see fit. I don't want to beg you for it. But I appreciate that. That helps support the channel. And yeah, as far as 19 Cent, I don't watch that guy anymore. He seems so self-centered and about himself. I really can't consume his content anymore, or really take part in that stuff. But also, I also wish him the best, even though I'm not like watching his stuff or participating in his chats anymore for his streams. I do wish him the best, and I hope he has success on his channel ultimately. So this is the percentages. We see that the third one won. This is the side panel artwork. So that Street Fighter 2 Alpha 2 artwork is staying the same. No changes there. I think that looks really good. They filled out that entire side panel with the artwork. They made it fit very well. So I'm happy about that. I think it looks really good. Also, it's just really like talking about Iconic Arcade and having iconic artwork on their arcade. That Street Fighter Alpha 2 is one, because we've never seen that before. And this is definitely going to bring something new, something exciting to the home arcade community. They can finally get some new artwork and something different. So Papa Brad's Gaming just sent over a super chat goal saying super chat goals are not legit. Also, mods are slacking. Really appreciate the $2. And then also communicating the goals are not legit. Don't do the goals. It seems like that's the theme tonight. Just let people send their money or super chat when they see fit, or whenever they think you're entertaining or doing a good job. They'll just freely send the money when they feel like it, they want to do it, rather than begging or asking people, guys, I'll stay on an extra hour tonight. If you guys just send me 20 super chats of $10 each, I'll stay on an entire another hour tonight with you guys. Like, that just seems so sleazy and snaky. I can't do that, you know, to you guys. If you guys are here listening, I'm just happy you're here listening. That's all that matters to me. This is all secondary. It just, you know, really helps the channel if you guys do send money, but it's all optional, and I really appreciate the money. and the support Papa Brad's Gaming with $2. All right, so that's our Street Fighter Alpha 2 artwork. Street Fighter 2, the World Warrior, that was the one that I think everyone was wanting to see. You know, what artwork are we going to get? We've got that finalized now. Now, it is a little late, right? We're thinking now we're in September, and we're just now getting this finalized artwork. Supposedly, these cabinets are going to come by the end of this year. So how is that going to work, right? I saw some videos that dropped this week that were pretty good, and they were really insightful and really questioned Iconic Arcade, I think, and made everyone also question Iconic Arcade this week is, how are you actually going to get these cabinets in time? Because realistically, how can that happen? If you've just now decided on this artwork, and yes, it looks great, you did a really good job, you covered all your bases, your customers got input, you were able to hear from your customers, and you went with what they wanted. That's all good. That's all great. But what about the timeline and getting these cabinets out within the time that you promised? Well, we know that they've already delayed it, right? We know that they've already done the artwork poll. Well, another thing that they came out with this week was the new screen, right? So they had to evidently change the screen. So this was I think a big discussion this week. And I think something that was big on people's minds this week was this whole screen and trying to just process that new information on what you're getting with this new screen. And they had posted these images on the Facebook. So it's the Medion monitor. It's a Lenovo. So Iconic Arcade is owned by Lenovo. Ultimately, they're overseen and owned by Lenovo. So they're sourcing their monitors from this company. And they source these Medion 27-inch IPS 16 by 9 1080p monitors, which I think are 120 hertz. And I'd watched, you know, the Rexer Show was in here in the chat earlier. He had brought up a really good point as well. And I was glad that I watched his stream this week because he had made this important point, right? We're playing Street Fighter 2, or we're playing up to like Street Fighter Alpha 3 or Street Fighter 3, which is still not late 90s games. There was no 120 hertz. So why are we needing 120 frames per second monitors for games that aren't ever going to play at 120 frames per second? Really, you know, that's a good point, is why are we putting these high-end monitors in to play retro games and games from the 90s? It really doesn't make a lot of sense. Not to mention that we went from a 16 by 9, or we went from a 4 by 3 to a 16 by 9 monitor. So we went with a widescreen monitor from a 4 by 3, which I think everyone wanted the 4 by 3. The artwork was a bezel for a 4 by 3 monitor. So why are we sticking a 16 by 9 behind it now? My thought on this is there's the tariffs. You know, obviously we've got the tariff situation, you know, Trump putting in those tariffs are going to make things more expensive. Maybe they could not source the 4 by 3 monitor anymore. It just wasn't possible. That's one thought. Also, another thought is maybe this had something to do with that whole cease and desist with Arcade 1-Up and the things going on behind the scenes between them and Arcade 1-Up. They had to go with a different monitor entirely. I don't know the specifics on that. I can only speculate on that. But I definitely think it's got something to do with money, tariffs, possibly Arcade 1-Up. They had to change not only the artwork last minute through the poll and the results of that poll, but they also had to change this to a 24-inch. I apologize, 24-inch flat screen, widescreen monitor. And evidently that's going to look just like a 19-inch when you put that bezel over the top of it. I still have questions. I'm not completely sold on this until we actually see in person the actual final product. We're only looking at renders so far. I'm not sold yet on the 16 by 9 monitor. And until John D makes his rounds on YouTube and starts answering questions and selling us on this product, I'm still not fully sold on it. Now another change. So we've got the artwork through that poll. We've got the new screen, this new Lenovo 16:9 screen. We've also got a name change. So I pulled this from Reddit. It's no longer called the XXL. We're not going to call this the Iconic Arcade XXL anymore. Now, I definitely think this has something to do with Arcade 1-Up. I definitely think they said, you know, we've already got the Arcade 1-Up XL line. You cannot call yours the XXL. It's just too close. It's not going to work. We're not going to allow it. And so they changed it to the Extreme. So now it's called the Extreme line of cabinets. So we've got new naming as well. So it says, you've asked, we've delivered. Your fan favorite features are here. The Iconic Arcade Extreme full-size arcade line. We've got the new redesigned artwork. We've got the lineup of Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Alpha 2. We've got our new dimensions now set in stone. 68 inches tall, 24.7 inches wide, 28 inches depth. We've got a 23.8 inch, 120 hertz IPS, 19.5 inch viewable screen. And that's our final details. We've also got a contact now for an email. If you have any questions, to reach out to this Lenovo.com email. And supposedly there's someone there answering questions now. So they're communicating. They're giving us the final product. I think they finally hit, now that they're at the point of production at this point. They're now making the cabinets, I think, as we speak. So that's going to then beg the question, when are these going to get delivered? They were originally supposed to be delivered in June of this year. So we're now June, July, August, 3 months removed from that original date. So when are these going to get delivered? So I posed the question in the Iconic Arcade Facebook group. I said, are these going to ship by the end of the year? Bill's Retro Show saying, according to retailers, these should ship in October next month from China, and they should be arriving in the U.S. warehouses by mid-December. So if everything goes as planned, these will come by the end of the year. I'm just not seeing it. I'm not getting that new information. So this was written out by Bill's Retro Show, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. And we've heard nothing new as far as shipments or when those are arriving since then. So that's not a good sign. Neo Geo 64 says they said shipping in October. That's from China, typically 5 weeks out. They'll be in the US November, December, before the end of the year. I still don't think they're going to make that target. And then John D is saying, yes, that's the plan. But again, he's not setting it in stone, saying for sure, guaranteed they're here at the end of the year. He's saying that was the plan. Well, I don't think the plan is working out to meet those target dates. I just don't think, I'm putting that out there right now, live on air tonight. I just don't think they're going to make that target date of the end of the year. Even though we had all this leading up to it, all this confirmation from not only, you know, Bill's Retro Show, but Neo Geo 64, but also John D, I don't think it matters, because I don't think they're going to make it by the end of the year. That's just my speculation. That's my 2 cents on it. We'll see if it comes. They could prove me wrong, and I hope they do. I hope that Iconic Arcade makes the date, and I hope that everyone gets their machines, and they've got these built right under the Christmas tree by Christmas time, and we're watching reviews and contents, or videos content by the Christmas break. That would be great news. I hope they prove me wrong. Steps Turbo says, yeah, I am not here 24/7. Hopefully there can be another mod too. The Rexer Show says, you're a mod. You need to block that Irish guy forever. Okay, so I did see some comments in the chat earlier. I'm trying to stay focused on the stream. I do have some mods in the chat. So I have Steps Turbo as well as Brooklyn Menace. If you guys see anything that you just don't agree with, I trust you guys. You know, use your own judgment. If you feel like someone's just playing around, they're just having a good time, let that be. I want people to have the freedom to say things just to have fun. I also want people to be able to speak and say things that are on their mind, right? If we're discussing something and someone wants to say something that maybe doesn't, you know, meet the majority in what everyone else wants to hear, that's okay. I still want people to speak their mind. I want people to say what they feel, just like I do on my streams. I don't want anyone to hold back and not say something just because not everyone else in the group might agree, or not everyone else in the group might like that comment. I think there's a fine line. I mean, you can definitely cross that line, but as long as they're not and they're just giving their opinion, or maybe you don't agree with their opinion, that's okay. I want that to be allowed. What I don't want to be allowed is people personally attacking people, or obviously, you know, saying things that are hurtful or against the terms of service of YouTube, those kind of things. I definitely want, like Steps or Brooklyn, you guys to use your own judgment and block those comments or put those people in timeout, whatever you think's most appropriate. But we normally don't have these types of situations. Normally we're all pretty good as far as like treating people well, and we're a good group, right? We all treat people with respect, and we've never had any issues in the past. So this will come up from time to time, and mods can take care of it. So just back on the Iconic Arcade, I hope they meet the dates. Supposedly John D is going to be making the rounds on YouTube here very soon. I think that needs to come this month. You know, if these are shipping in October, he needs to be doing that here in the next 2 or 3 weeks, making plans to come on live streams and addressing this stuff, because a lot of people have put a lot of money out there, pre-ordered these, put a lot of faith in Iconic Arcade, which now we know is owned, and this is all being run by Lenovo. I think they need to be, you know, staying true to their word, and we hold them accountable for some of the stuff, like these dates that they were leading people to believe, you know, like June 2025. Obviously, we didn't meet that date. We're way past that now. But then to say at the end of the year and then that not happen, it's like, where are we drawing the line as consumers to say, hey, you know, are you being real with us? Are you just leading us on to, you know, make money, or you have alternative motives behind, you know, encouraging people to buy your product or pre-order ahead of time? So we'll see how all this plays out. I wish all the best for Iconic Arcade. I'm really interested in what they have to offer with this product. You know, I'm a big Street Fighter fan. I never bought a Street Fighter home arcade yet. I've waited for the Ultimate one. I always thought Arcade 1UP was going to release the XL. They never released that XL full-size, you know, or near full-size Street Fighter that I was waiting on. Well, now it's finally come. We finally have that. It's just through a different company, you know, through John D, Media 1UP, Iconic Arcade. They're doing it, not Arcade 1UP. But outside of that, I mean, the product's great. It looks amazing. If everything looks and plays as well as it looks on paper, I think people are going to be really happy with this. And, you know, even though it didn't win my poll for Home Arcade Product of the Year, if these get shipped by the end of the year and people receive them before Christmas time and the reviews start coming out and they're really good, I think it could take that crown, you know, for Best Product of the Year for 2025 in Home Arcade. We'll just have to see on that. A lot of potential, but also a lot of red flags, I think, going on right now with this Iconic Arcade release. All right, so the next thing I want to discuss with you guys is going to be the Pac-Man Neon Edition Arcade. So this has been a pretty big topic this week because Arcade 1UP, you know, we knew they weren't going to be releasing anything new at the end of this year. But we did have some port data that came up, which basically showed this new Neon Edition Pac-Man Plus Arcade, but we had no idea what it was going to be. Well, James Hates Everything this week kind of stirred this up with a live stream he did where he put on the thumbnail this new Pac-Man, right? It's this new Pac-Man arcade. So let's just take a look at his short here. This is the one that he posted.
1UP is bringing
just real quick.
Pac-Man Deluxe Arcade Cabinet Neon Edition to Sam's Club.
So that's it. That's this this Pac-Man arcade, and he evidently did this render himself, but he did it based on the Pixel Bash, which has been it's like a $3,100, almost $4,000 arcade, premium Pac-Man arcade with a bunch of games, multi-cade with a bunch of Namco arcade games on it. But this was their neon version of it that they had released sometime back, a while back. Well, basically, James Hates Everything kind of did a render of his own from that artwork. I thought he did a really good job with this. I've also seen the Cornercade. I've also seen some other YouTubers taking this story on, like Super Game Room dudes this week, and just kind of bringing it up as a topic. This isn't the actual arcade that you're going to be receiving if you were able to get this one. Now it very well could look identical to this, and he just had in some inside information and he wasn't able to tell us. That is definitely a possibility, or maybe there's that 1 or less 1% chance that he actually guessed it right and got it, exact. Not likely though. So most likely it's going to look different than this, but we do know that there is a Neon Edition Deluxe Pac-Man Plus arcade coming, which is already shipped. It's already arrived here stateside, and if we know anything about their arcade 1-up and their releases lately, it normally takes them a few weeks from the time that they arrive till the time that they start doing their promotions on them. So like that happened with the Mossy Oak this year, that Mossy Oak Big Buck Hunter. Also happened with T2. We knew 3-4 weeks in advance that the cabinet was coming, that it arrived, that it was going to be releasing. We even had leaked promotional material on those cabinets. However, with this one, they've done a better job. They haven't actually leaked anything on this one. So we have to only guess and only speculate on what we think it's going to look like or what you're going to get. But I think everyone's in agreement. It's just going to be a deluxe style, 3/4 scale, very similar to the previous models, just with new artwork, probably the same games list. And just like 2024, 2025 for Arcade 1-Up, it's just rehashes. It's re-releases of previous games list, same PCB, same mold, same cut for the arcade. The design is the exact same. It's just got new artwork. And basically what they're doing with these arcades is they're just re-releasing them to keep the license. Because Pac-Man is crucial to their business. It's integral to what they do year in and year out is Pac-Man. So in order to keep that license, they have to continue to make new Pac-Man cabinets and just make them look a little bit different and call it a new release. So that essentially that's what they're doing with these cabinets. Now, are we wanting another Pac-Man cabinet? I know I don't. I've got this Miss Pac-Man, this black one over here. This countercade I've got is fine. I kind of want to get rid of the 3/4 scale Miss Pac-Man because I don't ever play it. It looks good. I did the Joe Zabo's marquee replacement on it. It looks really good with that in there. But outside of that, it just kind of collects dust. So if I was to sell one arcade right now, yeah, it wouldn't even be a question. I'd immediately know which one's first. It's going to be my Miss Pac-Man. So I'm kind of over the Pac-Man cabinet. Definitely not going to be getting this. This is not for me. I know a lot of you out there have Pac-Man already. I think most of the Arcade 1-Up collectors have bought Pac-Man over and over again already at this point. So I don't see any of us running out to get this. More so, this is just going to be for those first-time buyers, or maybe someone that's just like a huge fan of the look of this one may run out and get this. But we don't have a price on it, and we don't know a release date. Nothing yet. They've been very tight-lipped on this, and they have not let their promotional material leak like they have on the other ones this year. So a lot of unknowns with this one, but that makes it a little more interesting, a little more fun leading up to its releases. We really know nothing about it outside of it's called a Pac-Man Plus Neon Edition Deluxe. That's all we know at this point. Rexer Show says this one's ugly. And Video Game Vegas says that he wants a new Pac-Man cabinet with a 4K 240 hertz monitor. Calvin Wong says no more Pac-Man fever. Nope, I guess we're just over Pac-Man at this point. Could it be that we're getting another one? Devastator Omega says, but this one's neon. It's a neon Pac-Man Plus. Oh, man. It did get me thinking, though. So I've got these Pac-Man signs, like these things, if you guys remember these. I've got all of them. I got the blue ghost. I've got the red ghost. But it got me thinking, you know, with these, are they going to maybe bring out some new signs? Because I did see like on Etsy, they have these Pac-Man neon signs, and they're really popular. And it looks like, you know, they try to take up and make money on any business that's popular or successful out there, like from like a small shop, right? They did that with G.I. Joel and his inline risers he made. They started selling the inline riser, like the exact product, because they have the license for Pac-Man. They can do that. Same thing with like these neon signs. This is just a little bit of a prediction for me going into the end of this year for Arcade 1-Up, but I would not be surprised if we start seeing some of these neon signs from Arcade 1-Up to go alongside and side with this release. No inside information, nothing for me to say that outside of just, you know, brainstorming, thinking about this product and what I've seen from Arcade 1-Up in the past. That is something I think it should be on their radar if it's not already. So Basic Fun, I did want to talk about them real quickly because, again, like we were talking about the Iconic Arcade and its release window and trying to make these products release before the end of the year, I think we're running into the same issue with Basic Fun, if not a more concerning issue with Basic Fun, because there's no communication between, at least John D is doing some communication out there in the community, and then they're posting on Reddit and public places giving us information. And they've taken pre-orders. Basic Fun hasn't taken any money. They haven't released any public information. It's all just been insider information we've had to base this stuff on. But if you guys remember, we looked at this slide a few weeks back with Steps Gaming and Garage Gamer, where we knew that the Asteroids, Tempest, Centipede, WWE WrestleFest were coming by Christmas 2025. I just don't think that's happening now, guys. And forget about Star Wars, forget about TMNT. Those are definitely not happening. But I think all we're getting from them are these little miniature arcades. I don't know if they've totally thrown this idea out the window or not to just not release these now, which they very well could do in their own, you know, inside business discussions. Just say, we're pulling the plug on this product. Because the only thing, if you guys remember, that released was this article from this toy book article we're looking at here, which was only a few pages long. And then we've gotten a few images that James Hates Everything was able to scrounge up. I don't know where he got these or who he got these from, but these were not publicly released from Basic Fun. These are ones that he got through some insider connections he has. So they haven't actually, they have not committed to anything, right? These are all prototypes. These are inside private photos that James Hates Everything was able to get a hold of. So they could essentially just pull the plug on this product completely, say they're not going to release it at all, and they would have no accountability for that. They would have no response or nothing. They wouldn't have to say anything because they still have not even announced this product outside of this toy book article, which was really like an author taking it on his own to write that stuff. It wasn't like Basic Fun released this on their own. So, yeah, this could all have been, you know, well in the works and may not actually come to fruition at all now. It may not actually happen. So very surprising to see just, you know, the release of this and to have our hopes so high that it was coming. I mean, if you guys were, may have followed some streams where you heard of a guy from Australia, big guy in the community. I won't even name his name because I don't want to, you know, put this on him, but he was basically saying that September 1st was going to be the pre-order date for the Basic Fun cabinets, the Ultra line and the Supreme line. Those were going to start on September 1st in Australia. And then they were going to release October 1st. None of that actually happened. There were no pre-orders. There's no word on a release. There's no shipment data. None of that. So it sounds like that was never going to happen, or he had bad information. So to have our hopes so high that this was actually going to come, and then to just find out that they're just probably going to end up making continuing to make these little cheap, $20 Walmart arcades, and they may never jump into this 3/4 scale or larger business at all. This may never happen. None of these arcades may never get made, is a real possibility now at this point. So interesting to see just the stagnant, movement we've seen on these products. But there's a lot going on, with the tariffs and the economy and everything. How much money can companies make in this home arcade business? Those questions for the companies themselves. I think all that's pulling on the ability for them to make these products and to put them out in a reasonable amount of time and to meet deadlines. I think this is happening throughout all home arcade companies right now, whether it be Iconic Arcade, Arcade 1UP, Basic Fun that's trying to get into it. They're all struggling right now, and they're all having a hard time releasing products. I would say if you want something new, Iconic Arcade, that's going to be a surefire bet. It looks like it's just a matter of time when that's going to release. If you're wanting something like a rehash, obviously Arcade 1UP, because they can keep pumping out cabinets that they've already released in the past. But Basic Fun, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. New Wave Toys, who knows what the heck's going on with them. We've got the GRS Build-A-Cade FU. That's going to come, but that's going to be early next year. And that's kind of locked down on the pre-orders. Everyone's already put their money in on that. So there's going to be a period here over the next 2 or 3 months where I don't expect much of anything, outside of, the Arcade 1UP Pac-Man Neon to come out. So not a very exciting time for home arcade, for, arcades themselves. So that's a good point, I think, to transition into AtGames, because AtGames, they're having a lot of issues as well. They're not, even though they have a different business model, they're really focused on now virtual pinball, which is an entirely different product than these arcades. AtGames is heavily struggling right now behind the scenes as well, I think. But one thing that they're doing well, especially with their 4KP, pinball machine, premium line pinball machine, is they continue, thanks to Zen Studios, to release new pinball tables. So this week they had released this Pinball Pack 4. So eventually they're going to get all the Williams pinball packs. You name it. They're doing them kind of out of order. And, they just got the most recent one, volume, volume 9. They're going backwards down to volume 4 because that had never released on the 4KP. It's now available. So, Whitewater, Roadshow, Hurricane, these are all awesome pinball tables. I've actually gotten a chance to had the pleasure to play all 3 of these on my Arcade 1UP pinball. And I've sunk a lot of time into Hurricane. Hurricane's one of my favorite on that one. Whitewater is an amazing virtual pinball table by Zen, but it plays terribly on the Arcade 1UP, so I never really got much time in on it. And then the third one on that is going to be that Roadshow. Roadshow plays okay on the Arcade 1UP, but it was just okay. It wasn't a lot of fun. Hurricane was. Roadshow okay. Whitewater pretty much unplayable on the Arcade 1UP. So I really haven't gotten a lot of time in on Volume 4 outside of that Attack from Mars Arcade 1UP pinball table. So I'm looking forward to maybe, now that I've got my new X Arcade set up, getting this for FX, playing it on the PC. And then I'm hopeful eventually these games are going to come to FX VR, giving me another way to play them in VR as well. But these are bangers. These are some real big titles, really good releases, Williams tables for the 4KP. So really happy to see AtGames get these. A lot of the other Williams, right, that they've released over the last few months, not a lot of them really struck me as like the ones I really wanted to play. But from my experience on the Arcade 1UP pinball, these 3, I just can't say it enough, were some of my favorites, right? Whitewater is the one that I really am antsy to get my hands on, because Whitewater I can play at Starfighters Arcade. I can play the real thing, and it's an incredible pinball table. So I really want to be able to play it virtually with a good setup. And as soon as this goes on sale for FX Pinball, I'm going to get it there for the PC and play it on Steam with my X Arcade, and then FX VR. But if you're a AtGames 4KP owner, starting this week, you can start playing these on your 4KP. So kind of cool to see them beat the MetaQuest and VR to the punch on getting these tables on their platform first, because really that's the only competition for AtGames right now is that FX VR or what we're going to call the Kevgret setup with the virtual screen and the X Arcade. Those are like your really only alternatives to the 4KP if you want like a pre-made setup that you can purchase from a company already ready to go, commercial ready setup. So this is great. You know, they're just adding to the library of the 4KP. So really good stuff for them as far as this release, right? But I can't stress enough, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes with AtGames that aren't so great, right? It's not all really good right now for them. This release was good for them, but they had some really bad news. A lot of people that downloaded this pack, let's say you downloaded it directly to your device from the UI in the 4KP pinball machine. Well, evidently something wasn't set up right on the back end, and a lot of people weren't able to play the game. It was saying that the code was already used and they couldn't get the games to load. So they paid for it, but they couldn't get them to load and play them. So they had to reach out to AtGames, do a support ticket. They don't have a phone you can call. So you actually had to submit an email and wait for them to respond. Sometimes that can be 3 or 4 days for them to respond. And until then, you're locked out of your brand new Volume 4 Zen Studios pinball pack you just purchased. You're completely locked out. You can't play it until you get a response from them. So terrible in that regard, in that people were buying it and they couldn't play it. But I think really excellent news in that they got the Volume 4 and that it is officially released for the 4KP, because these are quality, really good Williams pinball tables that I have some experience with already, and I can speak from experience from my Arcade 1-Up pinball. These are excellent tables, and looking forward to the tournaments and everything that are going to be going on with these ones now that they're more readily available on the AtGames now. Now, the Sam's Club news. This was big, I thought. Goofyfoot's here, and he's saying, fuck AtGames. I guess he's got some issues with his machine. I know he purchased, I believe he had purchased, you'll have to tell us in the chat which artwork you purchased, because I can't remember. But I do remember you saying you received the Addams Family. I think you may have purchased like Attack from Mars, and then you received the Addams Family. You'll have to clarify that for us on what it was. But bottom line, he didn't get the artwork he ordered. So now I'm interested to hear, what's going on now, because they're having all these issues. I mean, I'm hearing people going as far as that just purchased their AtGames, right? Like, I'll give you an example. Galaga Guy 88. I was there at Pinball Expo in November. He had purchased Snoopy. I know he got locked out of his machine entirely, wasn't able to log into it, wasn't able to play it at all. He ended up getting back into it, and as soon as he got back into it, turned around and sold it. So there are people that have actually bought their machine and they've gotten to their wits' end with it, that they're just now selling it. And that's one of the things I think when we compare it to the X Arcade, and what I like so much about the X Arcade and what it offers. It's not a cabinet. It doesn't look like a pinball machine, but it doesn't have all these issues. It's not locked down. It's not in the ecosystem of AtGames where you're going to have all these issues and you're going to have to go through hoops and to try to get help and support. You don't have to deal with any of that crap. So I think that what X Arcade offers is a great alternative. It's not perfect because it's a little bit different in what it offers, but it does fulfill a lot of the needs that the 4KP does without all the hassle and all the issues. So hopefully they can get this stuff worked out, because they've got a couple good things going for it. They've got the Volume 4 that released, but they've also hit Sam's. So the Addams Family is now available or going to be available at Sam's. And this is what I've been waiting for. I've been talking about this product now for almost 2 years. And this is the one thing I've been waiting for this entire time, is for it to come to Sam's or Costco or one of these big stores, because then that opens up the ability for the price to come down. Because ultimately that's what needs to happen, is the price just needs to freaking come down. People are fed up with the service. They're fed up with the support. They're fed up with all the little issues that are happening with their pinball packs when they purchase them. All this, right? But what could really get new buyers to pull the trigger and make the purchase, I think, more than anything, is to lower the damn price. And people will overlook a lot of other things, and they'll actually be less critical if they feel like they get a good deal. And now you're going to have that ability to actually get an excellent deal, because this will be available at Sam's, and it won't be all up to AtGames and, you know, their business motives and, you know, what they want as goals as a company. It'll be on Sam's to determine the pricing, because they're going to buy these things in bulk, and then they're going to sell a bunch of them at full price. And then I can already tell you what they're going to do next. They're going to start marking them down, just like that Costco Pinball Home Plus, the Stern Star Wars I showed earlier tonight. That's dropping in price. You're going to see the same exact thing happen with the 4KP. It's going to start dropping in price as well. And it will happen every time. It does every time. So we can already expect and we already know what's going to happen. It's going to come out. I think it's going to be $1,700, maybe $1,600 right out the gate. And then in a few months, you're going to start seeing them be sold for $1,400, for $1,200, $1,000. At the end of the day, you know, when these things are final clearance, red tagging them, they may go down to $500, $400. So this is I think the biggest thing to happen to the AtGames 4KP in the 2 years that I've been discussing it, is that it is now available at Sam's, finally. And they actually went with some pretty good artwork. This Addams Family artwork is a good one. So I think everyone can live with this, because it throws back the nostalgia, the vibes of the original, you know, Addams Family movie, or not the original movie, but the one from the 90s. It's also got the official Zen artwork for this game on there. It was done in collaboration with Zen Studios, so it looks good. It fits the arcade. It fits what we're doing with pinball and the tournaments and everything. So it also, when I saw this at Pinball Expo last year around this time, you're going to play this with like 100 different pinball tables on it, 200 pinball tables on it. You're very rarely going to be probably playing the marquee game. The good thing about the Addams Family is it's very dark theme, so it fits a lot of the other tables. It doesn't draw your attention away like Snoopy did. Even though I do like the yellow Snoopy, it's just so bright and it attracts so much attention. It kind of draws your attention away from the different games you're playing on it. So if you have Jurassic Park on Snoopy, it doesn't really fit right. But with the Addams Family and having that darker theme to it, it actually fits pretty well. It doesn't draw your attention away when you're in the middle of a game. You could think, you know, if you're not looking around, that you're playing Jurassic Park. You could be on a Jurassic Park theme pinball table if you're just looking at the playfield. So, because it is so dark. So this is a good one. I think it's an all-around, you know, if they were going to just sell one theme or one artwork package at Sam's, I think this was the one to go with. So good call, AtGames, with your Addams Family coming to Sam's. I think this is great news for everybody. Now, there's some other news for AtGames this week. There's the Star God Deluxe. This is a Zakaria table. It looked like it was a pretty good table, well received. It's been out for a while, so you may have played it, or you would have had the opportunity to play it. This is now going to be available for the 4KP, the AtGames 4KP. And I saw Papa Brad's Gaming, he's already got some videos, or maybe he's put some, future notices out that this video will drop. But I think he's already got his hands on Star God Deluxe, which will be releasing, I think, either already released or be releasing next week. So Zacarias, these aren't as great as the Zen Studios tables, but these are regular releases, right? Every other week they're getting more and more tables, and it just adds to that library. These may not be at the quality or the high level, experience you're getting with the Zen tables, but they're still good, right? And people seem to enjoy them. It also adds another alternative for like more tables to play during pinball tournaments. Or if you're just wanting to do like an AtGames focused pinball tournament, you could pick these Zaccaria tables and go with these. So this one's going to be releasing. We'll have to watch Papa Brad's Gaming, see what his review looks like for this table to see if it's any good. Because if you guys remember a couple weeks back, there was the, what was it? The Magic Castle Deluxe table was unplayable, right? I mean, it was like unplayable. You could not even get a game going, right? So, or couldn't get the ball to go above the second half upper play field. Just, should never have hit the store at all. Hopefully that's not happening with this one. But I'm going to mention that it could. This could be another unplayable table released by AtGames. You just don't know. But so that's our AtGames news for this week. Papa Brad's Gaming says we cannot save them from themselves. Talking about AtGames and their struggles and their woes as of late. Video Game Vegas says Star God Deluxe stinks bad. Oh, and I'm glad Kevgret brought this up. So $8. So that's another thing I'm glad he brought up, because if you guys remember, and if you guys have played AtGames, Pinball FX, Pinball M on PC, on Steam, because I'm playing a lot of Pinball M, Pinball FX on Steam right now. And the tables that I'm buying, right? A lot of them I'm buying at $5, or I'm buying them on sale at like $2.50 or $3. Like I just bought the Godzilla versus Kong pack for $5.99. It came with 3 tables and it was $5.99. So I'm getting a pretty good deal on Steam playing them on PC. That's something else to take note of, is that these tables, even though it's only $3 more, that starts to add up. When you're buying tables every week or every other week, and you're buying all the new releases, this really starts to add up. You're almost paying double what I think this table is worth. This table should be no more than $5. If anything, they should be offering deals and sales like every other month, half off, which they never do. So they're asking way too much money for these tables. I'm glad you pointed that out, Kevgret, because I was thinking the same exact thing. They're charging a ton of money for this stuff. Make sure it's ready, number one. Make sure it's fun, enjoyable experience, number two. And number three, lower the price. You just get that price down to a reasonable amount. $5 I think should be max for a single pack pinball game, especially a non-Zen. I'd pay extra for the Zen. They're charging more for these Zaccaria pinball packs, which makes no sense. And it's $2.99 on Steam. So like right now I could go get it on Steam, play it on my X Arcade, get a similar, if some would argue, better experience on the X Arcade, and I save money. Now, which I'm always about. I love saving a little bit of money, stacking up my games, at a fraction of the cost. That's enjoyable for me to do it that way. Video Game Vegas says the Godzilla vs. Kong tables suck also. They make me want to punch someone in the junk. So that's a good transition. We've got a poll going right now, and I'm going to do a Zen Studios tournament, and I may start this tomorrow, maybe after work, get started on promoting it and getting it set up. But I'm going to do it based on what the audience wants, what you guys are voting for. We have 4 choices. We have Godzilla, we have Jaws, we have Rogue One, which is Star Wars, and then Vern's Mysterious Island. It looks like right now, currently, Jaws is winning at 39%, Godzilla is winning at 36%. So the reason that I had chose Godzilla out of this pack, because I just got it for half off, right? And I think it was actually more than half off. I'm going to bring it up for you guys right now so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So here's the Steam page for FX, right? Here's all your releases. Here's the Godzilla vs. Kong. Normally $15, and they've got it for $5.99. So for $6, the offer ends in 14 hours. So you have until tomorrow to get this if you want, if you're rewatching. But you get it for $6. You're getting 3 tables. That's $2 a table. I think that's a great buying price. You know, that's a good deal. I think that's a good point in which to get these. And you know, going based on what Video Game Vegas said, I've played all 3 of them. Kong is okay, but it's got some weird stuff to it where like the playfield goes upside down and stuff. Or maybe I'm getting that confused with Godzilla. But there's a point in the game where in Godzilla versus Kong where essentially the table goes upside down. And I don't like that. Even though I can play it and I'm still racking up points and I'm scoring, I'm not enjoying that part of it. The Kong table is okay. Surprisingly, the Godzilla versus Kong, it was my least favorite of the 3. My favorite has actually been Godzilla, and that is the reason I put that one in the poll, because that's a good one, right? Stern's got their Godzilla table, and even though it's not the exact one, it's the music to this one, the effects. Okay, so there it is, Kong that does that upside down. I hate that. But Godzilla, it's got this like neon looking lights into it. It's really like the colors are really vibrant on this LG monitor I'm playing on with a gaming PC. It looks good. It sounds good. It's intense. I like Godzilla. I think it's really good. And then my least favorite of the 3, surprisingly, is the Godzilla versus Kong table. For whatever reason, I'm just not liking that one. It's my least favorite of the 3, but I really can't complain. And that's the good thing about getting these at such a low cost and, you know, buying them at, you know, when it's a deal, when they're doing a promotion is maybe you don't like a table or maybe you don't like the entire pack. But if you're only paying, you know, 30% of what it normally costs, you can easily accept that. And that's what I enjoy about saving money and trying these tables out when they go on sale is my expectations aren't as high and I just enjoy them more naturally because I got a good price on them. So our second option is going to be Jaws. Now Jaws is a good one because it's a movie. It fits the theme of the movie, like the whole table fits the theme of the movie. Also, Stern has their Jaws that released, which has been very successful, highly successful table for them. And even though this isn't exact to the Stern, the real one, it is very reminiscent of that one. And it's got a lot of the same stuff, like the fins that go across and you got to hit the fin. It's got a lot of the same sounds and, you know, callbacks to the movie. This is a good table. Out of the Universal pack, it is by far my favorite. Back to the Future is really good, but I actually like the Jaws even better. And you can kind of see how the table will rock. I do like that aspect of it as well because it'll rock just like a boat would on the ocean. And I like that effect to it. And it's a good one. I've enjoyed this one a lot. So hopefully, you know, I'd be happy with either one. If Godzilla wins or Jaws wins, I'd be happy with either one. And they're tied right now, neck and neck, 38%. So we'll see which one pulls it out. But I'd be happy with either one. I'd also thrown out the Rogue One, which I will point out is a very good Star Wars movie. It's my favorite of the more recent Disney Star Wars movies. This one I thought was really good for like an original story and didn't really follow. It had some, you know, stuff that fit to like episode 4, I'm sorry. At the end of the movie, it kind of leads into episode 4. But outside of that, it's its own movie. It's its own like standalone story, own characters, actors, all that we hadn't seen before. I like this one. So the pinball table's good too. I picked this one up a while back, actually on FX3, and it was actually a Steam deal where I got FX as well. So now that I'm playing it on FX, I already had it available to me in my library. So that's something else to look for too, guys, is when you're getting your games on Steam as opposed to like the AtGames 4KP, right? Something that they will offer you on Steam and playing it on your PC is you can buy it for like the FX3, right? So let's say you have a PC that's a little underpowered and you're not ready yet to step up to FX or Pinball M. Your computer graphics card just can't handle any more than Pinball FX3. Well, what is cool is you can look for some of these bundles, which I'll point one out here for us. Let's just say this FX Collection 1, for instance. Right here, you'll see this Legacy bundle right here for $9.98. You're really getting two. You're getting FX3, which is $10. You're getting FX for $10 for half off. So $10 for both FX3 and FX. So what I did is I had bought Rogue One on FX3 with this bundle. Even though I wasn't playing it on FX yet, I got it for free. So whenever I loaded up my X Arcade with FX on my gaming PC, I was then able to play Rogue One. And I'd forgotten that I'd bought this bundle way back when. So it's a nice little surprise that you already have it in your library in FX. I kind of wish AtGames did this. You know, like you buy your games for HD. When you go to the 4KP, I feel like they should do the same thing in which if you've already bought it on HD, it unlocks it in 4K for free, right? You've already paid for it. You shouldn't have to go back and re-buy that table again. So I like that Zen Studios is doing it on the Steam platform. Hopefully they can, make this type of business model purchase available on the AtGames, because I've been hearing a lot out there on HD owners not being able to take their HD games with them to the 4KP. So hopefully that'll start happening. Now, our fourth option is going to be the Honor and Legacy pack, which is going to be Vern's Mysterious Island. I picked this one up for $2.99 last week on sale on Steam, so I got a really good deal on it. $1.50 a table. Comes with 2 games, comes with the Samurai's Vengeance as well as the Vern's Mysterious Island. I liked Vern's Mysterious Island more of the two, so that's the one I had chosen for the poll. And it's getting like no support in the poll. There's only 3% of the votes are going for it right now. So this one's definitely not going to win tonight, but maybe it'll be in a future tournament coming up. Because even though the Samurai's Vengeance I didn't really like too much, I do like the visuals of Samurai's Vengeance. Mysterious Island had the visuals and it had the gameplay with it. I've heard a lot of people really rag on this pinball pack for the AtGames, just comparing it to the 4KP. A lot of people not enjoying this pinball pack. I'm actually enjoying it on Steam on my PC. So I don't know if it's just more optimized for the PC and it plays better on that platform on Steam, but I'm enjoying the pack, and the Mysterious Island is definitely the winner of the two on this one. These tables look visually very good. They have a lot to offer, a lot of different things you can unlock and play, upper play field, things like that. Really like the volcano in the upper right on this one as well. Looking really good. So we'll see which one wins, but any one of these 4 that are in this poll, whether it be Godzilla, Jaws, Rogue One, Vern's Mysterious Island, these are all bangers, all really good tables. It'd be a pleasure to do a private tournament, pinball tournament this week with you guys on any one of these 4 tables. So just some closing thoughts, guys, with you guys to wrap up the stream tonight is I was actually invited because I'd signed up for the PlayStation 5 beta program. They actually sent an invitation out to me this weekend. And unfortunately, I'm just so busy with other stuff. I didn't really have the time to take advantage of this, but I could have had a sneak peek and been able to play this Tokon Fighting Souls, which is basically a Marvel versus Capcom fighting game that's coming out, a new one that'll be coming out later this year. It's in beta right now. Did not get a chance to play it, but I'm liking the art style. I'm liking everything I'm seeing so far. Very Marvel versus Capcom-ish in the way it's presented, and the way it'll play. But just with the new art style, just a new fresh coat of paint as far as like the characters and the skins and everything. I haven't got a chance to play it. Just bringing up that I was invited to the beta. Wish I would have had the time to play it because I would have liked to give my opinion on, where it's at right now. But it looks like it's very close to releasing. So I have this game on my radar. I'm a big fan of the Marvel fighting games. So this one will definitely be released that I pick up, no doubt about it. My dad was in town, so for Labor Day, the reason I didn't stream last week is my dad came to visit and we spent the Labor Day together. But a couple of things we did this last weekend is we went to some movies. Saw a couple with him. I saw this Caught Stealing with Austin Butler. Pretty good movie. It's got a pretty good cast as well. Was surprised at how big the cast was and how good it was. But my favorite was the two Orthodox Jewish characters from New York. It was played by Lev Schreiber. He's a pretty big actor. And then the Vincent O'Dorfio or whatever his name is. Can't even pronounce his name. He plays Kingpin on the Daredevil TV show. But really like him as an actor. He was unexpected, right? Both of these actors, the Lev Schreiber and Vincent, both those actors I know very well, and I didn't read the credits going into the movie. It wasn't until the very end of the movie that I realized that those are who those actors are, because they're so in character and they play these characters so well. You don't even realize who the real actor is until the very end. And I was so surprised because they did such an incredible job. So great movie. Go check out Caught Stealing. Rated R, definitely an adult movie, but a lot of fun. Also, if you're, I know Mikey's in the chat. He had just gotten a cat. If you like cats, there's a lot of this cat in the movie, and he plays a big part in the movie. So if you're an owner of cats or you like them, then this is a good movie to go check out. But it also has that chick that played Catwoman in the last Batman movie. She's really good in it as well. But Caught Stealing, go check it out. Saw that with him. Also saw Weapons, which this was a horror movie. Been hearing really good things about it. A lot of buzz on the internet about this movie. Kind of like an unknown going into the theater. But I saw it with my dad. Really good. It wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be, which is fine by me. I'm not a huge fan of really scary movies. But the story was really engrossing, really good story to this movie. And it follows like this neighborhood of these kids that all went missing. And there's this like lady who's like controlling all these people in the city. And a lot of people think it's like a witch story, but it's really got a lot deeper story than that to it. And I won't do any spoilers or ruin anything for you, but there's a lot going on. And it's one of those thinking movies where you get out of the theater and you're just thinking, what the heck did I just watch? How do I make sense of that ending? And that's what I did is I took to the internet and started watching everybody's reactions and what they thought and kind of formed my own opinion on what happened in this movie. But it's like one of those movies where it's kind of left up to the viewer on what you think and what's your interpretation of what happened in this movie. But it's really good. And of the two, I would say go see Weapons first between these two. But they're both good, a lot of fun. So check them out. Now, I know Calvin had also commented on my last stream, as well as in the chat tonight. I wanted to address that. The Tatsunoko versus Capcom, I have not gone to check out that website. It is on my to-do list. I did pick up a eBay purchase of Virtua Fighter 5. So something that I did get was I got the X Arcade, and I'll show it to you. It's a 2-in-1 PS3 adapter, which will allow me, which I've been having such a hard time trying to hook my PS3 up to my AtGames Legends Ultimate via OTG. I just could not figure it out. I bought so many different adapters and things to try to get it to work with my AtGames Legends Ultimate. Just could not get my PS3 to work with it because I have a huge PlayStation 3 library. A lot of them are fighting games. And I wanted to play my PS3 on my AtGames Legends Ultimate. Just could not make it work. So I was pleasantly surprised to see X-Arcade has a PlayStation 3 adapter. So I purchased this. They shipped it out next day. I had it within 2 days, $30, reasonable price. So look forward to me hooking up my PS3 here very soon to my X-Arcade. But one game that I picked up on eBay was this title, which is one that I have been wanting to play on any, whether it be PC, whether it be on, whatever, right? Whether I pay for it or whether I find it other ways, right? I won't mention how. But I ended up getting in on eBay a physical copy of Virtua Fighter 5. So I'm looking forward to playing quite a few fighting games on the X-Arcade with this new adapter. I've got Tekken, I've got Street Fighter HD Remix, I've got Virtua Fighter 5 now, physical copy. I only paid $6 for this. I think with shipping and everything, it was $7. Killer deal. And this is one of the later releases on the PlayStation 3. The visuals are really good. The colors are really vibrant on this game. So I can't wait to play it on a big screen with the X-Arcade. But I've got a big library of fighting games I can play on the PS3. I'm going to be busting out. If you guys remember that stream I did recently where I did the Wii U stream, well, I'm basically going to do like an X-Arcade stream like that with my PlayStation 3. And we're just going to pull out like my whole library of PlayStation 3 games and see which ones are friendly to an X-Arcade, arcade control panel. Obviously fighting games, side-scrolling games will be good. I'm sure there's probably some that I'm not even aware of that, once I plug it in and put these games in, that they actually play surprisingly well on the X-Arcade. So looking forward to that as well. Not just the pinball aspect, but also playing my PlayStation 3 on it. Also getting like that new Golden Tee Arcade Classics game and using the trackball and playing the trackball games as well. That'll be coming up here very soon as well. So a lot to unpack with the X-Arcade coming up. But talking about VR, to kind of close out the stream tonight, I told you surprisingly, I'm not enjoying the VR pinball as much as I am the pinball on the flat screen. And I'm just very surprised by that. And I don't know what it is about VR. When I first got these VR headsets, the PlayStation PSVR 2 and the MetaQuest 3 and 3S, I was blown away. But over time, it's just less and less I play it. And I don't know why. I still always enjoy going back to it. I still always look forward to when I go back to my VR headset, but I don't play it as often as I did. And looking forward to a new VR game coming. And there is one. Deadpool is going to be like the marquee MetaQuest game for this holiday season that's going to be releasing. So this is actually coming up here in just a couple of months. So November, here in just like less than 2 months, Deadpool VR is coming out. So this will be a topic for me for probably the next few streams leading up to its release. Also, I'm looking forward to jumping into this game and playing it. So for any of you VR guys out there, you have to let me know in the chats or watching the replay. Are you guys looking forward to this new Deadpool VR? Because we got a release date finally, and I can give you guys an exact date now. Let's see, what is it? Releases when? I know it's in November. November 18th. So put it on your calendars. Marvel's Deadpool VR will release November 18th, 2025. And I just put that in the chat for you guys. Also, Tomato Sauce is here. Good to see Tomato Sauce in the chat because he's our VR expert. He's our VR god. He says it's because you don't play PSVR 2 games on a MetaQuest. There are thousands on the PC. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I have my gaming PC set up in the living room right now, which I'm playing all my Pinball FX on, Pinball FX VR. I need to unlock all those Steam VR games, starting with Half-Life, and get that set up, because I still have not set my PC up for VR yet. I know that's a whole nother thing I get to unlock and try out. So I remember last time I tried to do it, I was having problems with my drivers on my video card. So hopefully I can get that figured out. But there'll be some tweaking and some things I have to do to get that set up right. Papa Brad's Gaming says, of course, he loves the Dreamcast. So that's another one. Talking about my X Arcade. Now, we've played this video a ton tonight. But, you know, these adapter kits, you can PlayStation 3, Xbox, original Xbox, Xbox One, PS4, PS5, Dreamcast, you name it. They've got adapters out there for it, for you to plug your systems into this thing. So it is just like a dream for anyone that just likes to tinker with different systems and different setups and all that. This X Arcade is perfect for that. So really enjoying it. Like I said, I got 8 hours of game time in on this thing the first day I started playing it. Straight 8 hours. Did not even think twice about it. So if you guys are on the fence about the X Arcade, go get it. Don't even think about it anymore, because you've got the pinball kit now coming out. You can pre-order it now. Get it while it's hot. And I just put the link in there. That's my affiliate link. Click that if you're going to go shop tonight, or you're watching the replay. Click that link. It'll help me out a little bit. But I appreciate everyone who's watched tonight. You know, Steps Turbo with your super chat. I really appreciate that. Also, Papa Brad's Gaming, thank you. And also to the Rexer Show as well. Thank you for your super chat earlier tonight. Go check out these channels. These are all fine channels on YouTube, putting out quality content that I really encourage everyone to go check out. Also, another one I saw in the chat, and I had just saw it. Oh, Jabba's Game Hut as well. He's doing pinball tournaments. Go check out his. I participated in his recent one where he did a Pinball M one as well. Which one was that you did? It's right over my head now on which one. So you've got, which one? You did Duke Nukem. That's right. Duke Nukem's Big Shot Pinball. I participated in his pinball tournament. Didn't do very well, but I did enjoy it. And then I did the pinball tournament on Pinball M last time of the Camp Bloodbrook. If you guys are Calling All Ballers, there's a Facebook group called Calling All Ballers. Gregory runs it, if you know him from the community. He's doing this week a pinball tournament, and he has chosen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is really cool because I'm a big fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. I've watched them growing up. I'm from Texas, so it really hit, like, I love this horror movie growing up. Scary movie. Actually, it's based on a story of a real true story of a guy called Ed Gein, which I just noticed this week that Netflix is remaking that movie of Ed Gein, which is really what Texas Chainsaw Massacre is based on. But anyways, back to the point, Calling All Ballers is doing a pinball tournament this week. I'm thinking I'm going to pick this up and get into his tournament. It's full price, which is $5.49, but I think that's still reasonable for these Pinball M games, $5, not too expensive. So I'll be participating in that as well as my tournament this week. And then Retro Tech X, another really good virtual pinball channel to go check out. Good to see Retro Tech in the chat. He says Honor and Legacy are very bad, but look great. And that's the thing I liked about them, is I like the visuals of those tables in that pack more so than the gameplay. But I do, again, think it plays better on PC than I think it is on the AtGames. But you guys have a good night. looks like there's some football going on. Buffalo Bills, my Cowboys lost on Thursday. Gonna try to slowly get back into this football season. And, you know, I know it started this week. Didn't really get a whole lot of time to watch football this weekend, but hopefully I can get picked up on that because I like to do the sports betting. I do the DraftKings on my phone and stuff. So if I can get into doing that, I'll be watching football nonstop. That's what makes it fun for me. But you guys have a good weekend. I think I've covered it all. Other than the poll, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll right now. I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this so I can, just for reference, and also I'm going to be using this data to decide on the tournament for this week for Biggie D's Arcade. So just took that screenshot, and I'm going to end the poll now. Godzilla, 33%. Jaws, 39%. Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, 21%. Vern's Mysterious Island. So Jaws is the winner, guys. This is an excellent game. You can pick up this pinball pack many different ways. Steam, Epic Games, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X. Actually, no, Xbox One, count that out. I don't think you can get it on Xbox One, but you can get it on S and X. And then this is available on the AtGames 4KP. It's also available, hopefully, on FXVR here very soon, but not right now. But plenty of ways that you can play this. Definitely participate this week. And we'll do a Jaws tournament. We'll do 7 days. We'll make a password, which I will post on a community post probably tomorrow with that information for you guys to join. It'll be available for a full 7 days. Last time I did a 5 attempts, limited to 5 attempts. So you can only try it 5 times. And you're going to take your high score from those 5 attempts. This week I'm going to do 10 attempts just by the request of some others. They wanted to get more tries. So we'll do 10 attempts, password protected. It'll be limited to only the community and viewers that are watching to participate this month. And we'll do Jaws, which is a universal pinball pack for many different systems. But you guys have a great rest of your Sunday night. Have a great Monday morning, and have a solid week, guys. I'll see everyone very soon. I'll be doing some X Arcade streams, also some videos upcoming. Very excited about the new product. Go Cowboys. Hopefully the Cowboys can get some wins this season and make it interesting and get into the playoffs. I'll see everyone in the next one. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.